testing a solution in the actual environment that you're looking to sell into is very vitally important to ensure that it can perform in the necessary conditions that are the real world conditions. We need to be able to help support with credible claims for our Canadian SMEs, give them that evidence to really attract that investment in secure enterprise clients.
Today, we're exploring the critical bridge between developing a technology and proving it works in the real world. For many Canadian startups and scale-ups, winning the enterprise customers.
Really listen to the user requirements and then find a way to demonstrate all of those points that they think are too risky.
Hi everyone, this is Maheen and welcome to the CanadianSME Small Business Podcast. Today we're exploring the critical bridge between developing a technology and proving it works in the real world. For many Canadian startups and scale-ups, the technical validation of their products is the biggest hurdle to securing funding and winning the enterprise customers. Joining us to discuss this is Lisa Klimstra, the Senior Manager of Business Development at CENGN. Lisa leads the business development function at CENGN, where she is passionate advocate for the Living Lab initiative. This program provides the infrastructure and expertise that are necessary to test and validate innovations in the real world environments, directly supporting Canadian innovation and strengthening Canada's economy. Today, we'll discuss lots including the importance of de-risking your technology, building credibility to commercialize your tech solution, and the launch of CENGN's newest advanced manufacturing Living Lab. So without further ado, let's dive in and welcome Lisa. Lisa, we're very pleased to have you on the show today. Welcome to the podcast. How are you?
Thank you very much for having me. I'm so happy to be here. One thing you need to know about me is how much I love my job, and that really is supporting the Canadian SMEs. My primary driver is helping people, and I feel that I have the opportunity to help these Canadian SMEs every day through our impactful programming. And I'm just delighted to be here to extend the reach of our offering to your listeners.
Very excited as well. We love the passion that is coming and flowing through your words, and we're very excited to break it down for our listeners. Now, Lisa, CENGN, I've mentioned a couple times in my intro as well. It plays such a vital role, by the way, in the innovation ecosystem and by helping companies validate their tech before it hits the open market. Please tell us, why is technology de-risking essential for commercialization, and what gaps do startups really miss?
This is a great question. Lessening the development cycle for the SMEs is really critical to ultimately getting a better quality product to market more quickly, having spent less money to do so. And, in working with industry, that helps to ensure that they have a product that they're bringing to market that actually solves for the pressing problems. There are several gaps that are often overlooked when trying to commercialize a product. Our clients are often testing in a lab environment where everything is idyllic, be it temperature, humidity. There's no RF interference. So really testing a solution in the actual environment that you're looking to sell into is very vitally important to ensure, as an example, that data can get from point A to point B and that it can perform in the necessary conditions that are the real world conditions. A lot of our clients have done pilot tests as well. So, testing of their solution with just a small handful of users. And it might work very well with a small number of users, but do they know how well it will scale? So before they go to market with a large-scale deployment, they really need to understand that their solution's speed, accuracy, and reliability will continue to operate as they expect. And that is where we can help them, certainly with the scale, load, stress testing. Additionally, understanding what kind of compute resources are required at scale is vitally important. And you might be thinking, so what? I don't understand. Why is that important? But a lot of our clients end up getting bills from the CFO saying, hey, why is our cloud operating expense like what has happened here? This bill is out of control. So before our clients go to market, before they get to scale, understanding what those compute resources will look like at scale, from which our clients can then work with their cloud operator, whether it's AWS, Google, Azure, someone like that, to extrapolate what those cloud operating expenses will look like, really know how to appropriately price their product to ensure that they're more than covering off those cloud costs as they grow. That's really important as well, and something that we can help them with.
Mhm.
And then looking at interoperability and integration of these solutions. Like a lot of our clients are trying to place their product, say, with legacy systems, or it's a very complex solution that might involve both hardware and software. And you need to test the full solution in order to ensure that it actually can perform how you intend it to perform.
Mhm.
And just testing your piece of it and then trying to commercialize without knowing the fulsome elements and testing that it can be a technology gap for sure in terms of commercialization. And then the final point I'll bring is that a lot of our clients are racing to try and get something to market.
Mhm.
And they can encounter technical debt as a result of this. And they need to ensure that they balance that race to commercialization or race to market with sound technical decisions. They don't want to end up in a situation where they've commercialized something that will then have costly things they need to try and fix that might be insurmountable as they try and scale the solution later on.
Wow, that's a vital strategic perspective, Lisa, and it highlights that technical certainty is the foundation upon which all commercial success is built. Now let's focus on how real world validation builds investor trust. Lisa, how does real world validation unlock funding and enterprise partnerships?
Yeah, I'm a huge advocate, obviously, for Canadian innovation and adoption of Canadian technology. This has always been very important, but I would argue never more important than right now, especially with the trade wars. And supporting our own innovation is tremendously important. Um, the Financial Post has actually reported that the venture capital investments in Canadian startups has plummeted 26% to $2.9 billion in the first half of 2025.
Mhm.
This is down considerably. In fact, it's the lowest level since 2020.
Right.
So, although they are still making investments, although enterprises are still needing to adopt solutions, they're much more risk adverse. There isn't the money going around that there was. So we need to be able to help support with credible claims for our Canadian SMEs, um, and give them that evidence to really attract that investment and secure enterprise clients. And we are able to do that through our program, through this kind of third party neutral ground where we're able to really place these products and test them in their real intended use and gain that evidence, ultimately supporting accelerating of the commercialization. Our clients realize, what of their product is working well in that actual environment and what gaps exist that they still need to solve for before being ready for market. And then they have that evidence also in hand to support their solution claims. And we have seen in our previous program, a lot of our clients were very successful in terms of attracting investment, in terms of securing that large enterprise size client that had said, little SME, I love your solution. I'm just not sure you can handle a customer of our size.
Right.
And then they're able to prove it and secure that opportunity. So that's really where we're at. And the credibility does make a huge difference. Like the resources are limited, especially right now. And there's never been a more important time than right now for a program like this.
Wow, that's a powerful credibility booster, Lisa. And it proves that third party performance benchmarking is a key differentiator in such a crowded marketplace. Next, let's shift our focus to how Living Labs provide hands on testing across key sectors. How do Living Labs move startups from prototype to market ready?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you. And certainly, we're here to support these SMEs regardless of their technology readiness level. They must be at a minimum TRL 4 to enter our program,
Mhm.
but certainly helping them through various types of testing. So, we have simulated testing available at our data centers, control testing in environments like our RoboHub and Area XO, and then kind of living testing in our live environments like our smart buildings as well. We do have 3 different project types that we support these Canadian innovators. So we have innovation projects whereby our SMEs can come and deploy their solutions in our living lab environments, either for market entry or to support scaling of their solution. And these are funded up to $250,000 to help our clients, de-risk achieving their technical and business objectives associated with the projects. And then we have adoption projects, which I'm really delighted for. This is new to our program this year, whereby our clients that have a large potential adopter that might be hesitant to adopt the solution for a handful of reasons, they can invite them to participate in a demonstration of the solution at one of our living labs. And their feedback throughout the process is really crucial in shaping that final product that's brought to market to ensure that it meets their needs and allays any of their concerns to help overcome and de-risk the adoption of the solution. And then we're also working with the government as well as industry to bring these calls for proposals to market. So identifying some key priorities that need to be solved for and inviting Canadian innovators to solve those problems that exist in the marketplace. So again, really supporting advancing our clients through the technology readiness levels, helping them avoid that valley of death and really bridging that gap between prototype and commercialization.
That is such a game changer, such a game changing resource, I should say, Lisa. And it emphasizes that real world testing environments, they are the ultimate tool for refining innovative solutions. Listeners, if you're ready to prove your tech can scale, then please learn from this conversation we had with Lisa about how to de-risk your innovation, the difference between innovation and adoption projects, and how to access up to $500,000 in co-investment funding to validate your solution in a world-class living lab. We're going to take a pause for a quick break. Please don't go anywhere because when we return, we'll explore how CENGN's sector-focused living labs are driving real impact across Canada.
Hey, you think you know UPS? Yeah, that's us. Everybody knows that. You know what you didn't know? This. Okay, try to keep up. Ocean, us. Ground, rail, air, so us. Guess who? Us. Customs cleared, borders cleared, done. Us. Still with me? Wait for it. Boom. Us. Intelligent, automated, fulfillment. Us. Yep. Healthcare too. Digital your thing? Yeah, well, book it, ship it, track it. You feeling me yet? Yep, that's all us. That's all UPS.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's jump into how these specialized living labs are built, who they serve, and why sector focus makes all the difference for scaling tech. Now let's look at how sector-specific labs drive targeted industry impact. Please help clarify, do living labs focus on specific sectors? And if they do, how many are active today?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we certainly have sectors of significance, whether it's smart buildings, smart mobility, advanced manufacturing, smart agriculture. But I argue strongly that we are sector agnostic. We have a connected robotics living lab, which I'll speak to in a moment. And robotics and AI obviously transcend across verticals in a horizontal fashion. Additionally, we do have a data center, as I mentioned earlier, to support scale, load, stress testing, performance benchmarking, and that can be applied to any type of solution. So in that respect, we are certainly sector agnostic. We do currently have 7 living labs up and running, plus our data center, with a final 8th one coming online. Our advanced manufacturing living lab will be launching March 11th. So I'd love to take you through some of the living labs that we have to date and what they offer. We have a connected robotics living lab at the University of Waterloo. This allows our Canadian SMEs to bring forward robotic solutions and leverage some of the equipment as well as expertise as world-renowned expertise available in this environment, whether it's a motion sensor capture system, so our clients can apply these sensors to their robot and it can detect millimeter degree movement,
Mhm.
theatrical lighting. There's kind of this hook on a track system if they need to help support a humanoid robot and ensure during the testing it doesn't fall.
Right.
That is accessible. Our clients can rent robots there. They have robotic arms, humanoid robots, and load carrying robots. Just to give you an example, I have a client looking to bring a vision system to market for manufacturing. It needs to work in conjunction with a robotic arm. So this goes back to that integration and interoperability testing. So this gives them an opportunity to test the full solution in this living lab environment. There is also an area to fly drones and a drone pilot, as well as an anechoic chamber
Mhm.
available at this particular site. So if our clients need to manipulate signal without affecting airplanes flying above, they certainly can do that as well. And the environment is covered with a layer of 5G, as all of our living labs are. Then we have a smart mobility and smart agriculture living lab at Area XO in Ottawa. And the smart mobility living lab entails a 3-way intersection, a 4-way intersection, a rail crossing,
Mhm.
an area to drive vehicles at high speeds. Obviously, it's in Ottawa, which allows for 4 seasons, which
Right.
can be really important to testing smart mobility solutions.
Mhm.
There's a digital twin of the environment, access to an autonomous Lexus and thermal dummies, access to rent drones, be it single drones or drones that can swarm, drone pilots, areas to fly drones, be it netted or beyond visual line of sight as well. And then from the smart agriculture side of things, at that same Area XO site, they have wheat, corn, soy, broccoli, pumpkin, and other market vegetables that they grow there. These environments are great for our clients to test precision agriculture type solutions. Solutions involving IoT devices, drone and satellite imagery that ultimately allow farmers to have insights as to how to treat a farm very precisely, reducing the inputs and the impact on the environment and the cost to the farmer, and ultimately producing more yield because the field is getting exactly what it needs, exactly where it needs it.
Mhm.
We're testing things like robotic solutions for weeding, fertilizing, or harvesting. As we know, there are labor constraints. We're heavily dependent on migrant workers for food security. So these robots can be utilized to help support that. Then at the University of British Columbia, we have another smart agriculture living lab. And here there's blueberries, strawberries, and apples. And again, we can test any type of precision agriculture solution or robotic solution, or even something like smart irrigation
Right.
can be tested here. And then in Ottawa, we have a 5G performance test lab. We're working closely with Ericsson. Ericsson is very interested in working with Canadian SMEs to support 5G adoption and really understand their use cases and how they can help our Canadian SMEs. So this is a great place for our customers who are trying to migrate from, say, a Wi-Fi or LTE enabled digital technology to a 5G enabled
Mhm.
digital technology to test in this environment. And not only do our clients have access to spectrum that's available today in this environment, they also have access to future coming spectrum like millimeter wave, giving them an opportunity to future proof their solutions. In this same building, we do have our data center where we can do that scale, load, stress testing, like performance benchmark type testing or
Right.
runtime optimization. Uh, Regardless of where our customers are in Canada, they can easily access our data center virtually. In fact, we carried on several hundreds of projects during COVID without skipping a beat.
Mhm.
And then we are also working with one of Canada's largest property portfolio holders. Their name is Morguard, and they've given us access to a shopping mall in the Ottawa area. It's called the St. Laurent Mall. We have a condo high rise in downtown Toronto. It's a real tenanted residential building.
Right.
And then in Quebec, we have Place Innovation, which is a real commercial building. And they've helped to identify some things that they are actively looking to solve for with digital technology solutions to support building management and building efficiency. And then, as you know, we are launching our advanced manufacturing living lab March 11th.
Wow, that's a lot to remember and to say, but it's great. I mean, you have a lot of living labs that are across the nation, and it's a great insight that you shared with us, Lisa. And it's impressive to hear how these living labs span multiple sectors, providing such an innovative solutions across the board. Finally, let's move our conversation to the expansion of your lab network with the new manufacturing facility that you just mentioned. What is the focus, Lisa, of the new advanced manufacturing living lab, and who should apply?
That's a great question. So I do want to preface it by saying just because it's based in Quebec, we're not only appealing to Quebec incorporated Canadian SMEs.
Mhm.
All of our living labs are open to SMEs from coast to coast to coast. As such, travel expenses are eligible expenses for the program. So I want to ensure that SMEs know that regardless of where they're situated, if that is the most relevant living lab to them and helping them to test and validate their solution, they're welcome to apply to enter
Mhm.
this particular living lab. This is an experimental manufacturing facility. So it does have real floor spaces and real equipment like CNC machines that you would find in any modern day manufacturing facility. The types of projects that we're hoping to see, you could really think of mass sensor based deployment. So perhaps sensors sitting on these CNC machines, IoT devices listening for anomalies in the way the machine is behaving, and then providing insights to, say, the plant manager saying, hey, the machine is not performing to its optimal state. We highly recommend that you have some planned downtime for preventative maintenance,
Mhm.
that kind of thing. Or, perhaps some training on machines using AR, VR through Google Glasses, or indoor positioning system type solutions, or safety solutions for manufacturing facilities. You could envision someone perhaps doing a PPE adherence type project in this environment. So we will be doing a call for proposals, but also our clients are welcome to apply through our open submissions on our CENGN portal as
Mhm.
well.
Beautiful. That's such a fantastic new addition to the ecosystem, and it proves that CENGN is continuously evolving to meet the technical needs of Canada's most innovative sectors. This was a great conversation. Thank you so much for whatever you're doing all across, coast to coast to coast. And it's good to see finally with all this innovation happening post COVID, especially in favor of SMBs. Now that we're wrapping up, Lisa, if there's one final piece of message for Canadian SMEs that are commercializing their solution this year, what would it be?
Yeah, really, really listen to the user requirements. Really understand what they need and speak to the adopters. Understand where they're hesitant, where they see the risks in adopting your solution are, and then find a way, like a Senja Living Lab, to be able to demonstrate all of those points that they think are too risky and help them overcome, guide them along by showing them credibly your solution and what it can do with supported evidence. So it needs to be built based on the user needs. It always does. And being able to prove that you can confidently handle all of those requirements is really important and valuable before commercializing a solution.
That is great. That is a powerful and a very actionable message. Thank you for ending on that note, Lisa. It was a great pleasure having you on the show today. Thank you for sharing your expertise and, of course, Dungeon's great vision and mission with us.
Thank you so much for having us here. Again, I'm really happy to hear from any of your audience. I love working with the Canadian SMEs and welcome them reaching out to me.
Absolutely. Thank you. And that was an insightful conversation with Lisa Klimstra, the senior manager at CENGN. We explored the importance of de-risking technology, the power of performance benchmarking, and the future of living lab initiative. Thank you for tuning into the podcast. Please be sure to subscribe for more expert insights. Visit our website, CanadianSME.ca, for valuable resources. Before we leave, a special shout out to our partners, UPS, ADP, and Google, for their ongoing commitment to empowering small businesses in Canada. Until next time, please keep innovating and striving for success, and we'll see you in the next one.